Okay, hello. My name is Bryan, and we will be looking at my top 10 quarries. I'm from Group 1. Um, but we'll be looking at them, see how they run, and then why they are special and useful. So we'll be looking at the first one, which is going to be taken from the customer transactions table and our sales invoices table. But this query is going to be looking at the scenario where we want to find a customer and see if their outstanding balance is greater than zero. So we want to see if they have an outstanding balance. Um, we're not necessarily looking if they have it at all, just because we are putting the where as greater than zero. So I don't want to see if it's no. If it's no, then it's not a problem in the scenario. But if it's greater, then that's something you want to definitely look at. But we will be we'll be using inner join for invoices to compare the two tables. And specifically, we're looking at the customer ID and contact person ID. And the reason we're doing this is we want to see if the customer ID is the same as the contact person, just to make stuff easier for the people that need to contact them. Um, so it's very easy to see how many people that we are able to um, get right away, and then the people left over, we won't be able to see that. But we know who we need to contact after to find who we should contact. So if we run this, we'll have customer ID, the transaction type ID. This is we're gonna see how the customer is paying, so the invoice. This will be helpful just to see how we're gonna take the next steps, and then who's gonna be involved in terms of departments. And then we have the outstanding balance here, so 104, and then it goes down um, down here. But yeah, we're able to see what's going to be the greatest one, sorry, greater than zero, and then see all the people we have to contact. Now we're not using any descend or ascend in this scenario just because we're not really looking who has highest one for priority. We're just looking at everybody um, that has an outstanding balance. So not really of uh, uh, urgency, but more of just checking the people that do have a balance. Okay, and then we are going on to the second one, which is going to be using the people's table and suppliers table. So we're going to be comparing people with suppliers. We'll be selecting the full name, supplier name, and other languages. So the special thing about this is the scenario where we want to have be able to match all the people we have with the suppliers. So we're going to be using the cross join, which is be able to make that happen and kind of make every possible combination happen. And the reason we want this is, let's say we have this scenario where the suppliers are, let's say from a different country, which speak other languages, of course. If we're able to see the employees that speak other languages, we have the chance to match them up with the suppliers and see what scenario would be best and move them along. So we already played it down here. So we have Kayla with Tanso supplier, and then they have the language of Polish and Japanese. So let's say Litware has representatives that speak Polish more. We're able to match Kayla with Litware. Let's say Eva, Litware Lithuanian. So we don't want that, but we're able to see all the options that we have and maybe move along to see what's the best case scenario. Moving along to the third one, we're looking at the scenario where we want to see each customer, the credit limit, and the delivery city ID. So we want to see the credit limit of each customer, and specifically in this scenario, we want to see the highest one. This is why we will be using order by credit limit descending. Just simply seeing first who has the highest limit, last who has the smallest one, which isn't our concern in this scenario. We will also be using inner join. So we want to see from both tables, specifically if the IDs of delivery city and city ID match. And the reason is we want to see what city we're delivering items to, which we're getting from this. And we want to see from a database the cities that we already have, just because the city IDs match up to the name. So we're able to get that information. And based off this, our special scenario is that we are able to see what cities that we can push more resources into. The only reason this is used is so maybe we could expand further operations. to, in this instance, have a high value client, be more accommodated for, and make sure that customer service is best out of anything. So it's a very nice kind of customer service situation. We're just able to make sure everything is up to date and we have priorities in line. Moving on to the fourth one. This is going to be looking at our package type ID and stock item ID. So we'll be looking out of our order lines in general, or specifically just the warehouses. And then we are looking from the purchase order line. So what is being bought? And um, and essentially we're just looking at what stock is being bought a lot. And seeing their type ID. So this is a packet that's being bought. We have the item ID. So if they match up from the order lines to the purchase order lines, we know that they're being bought. So this is one way just to see what is being taken out of the warehouse, and then you can also use this to find trends and place and importance, so just so you can see everything. And we're using a full outer join, so we're able to see if there is anything at all or nothing at all. So it's a great way to see overall all our items. Okay, looking at the fourth one, it's going to be a very simple query, but in this scenario, we just want to use a cross join here with our color IDs, color name, package type name, and package type ID. Um, it's a very easy query, but it is special just because we want to see all the colors that the warehouse has in hand, and then also see all the package types that we do sell. This way, we are able to see all the combinations that if we are not already making and selling, we have the opportunity to see everything. So let's say we have a bag that we don't have a sign on. We can maybe try to create something like this for future references. And then we have color ID and package type ID in hand, just so if we just want a quick information, we're able to take that, and other people are able to reference it just with colors and type names, just because it's going to be an easier way. But it's a very simple scenario, but it's very helpful just for future products. Oops. The next one is going to be right here. Here we are looking at the stock item transactions from the warehouse. Specifically, we are seeing the dates of the transactions. We are taking transaction occurred when, just casting it as date, a little bit easier compared to the already like sys date, which has a bunch of numbers in it. But we're using that, and then we are taking counts of all the rows in transaction occurred when, and then we're just naming the counts, transaction count. This way it's just easier to see, and we are able to reference to this if it's me or if it's any other developer or employee. They're able to easily see what I was referencing to. So we're able to cast it or group Bryan, but the transaction occurred when, and then order it by the date from a descending order. So this is the most recent one, and then as we go down, it's the older ones. But this way we're able to see all the transactions that occurred and all the information that happened per date. A very good way to see trends and dates. Let's say November, sorry, in December of 2015, you can see it spiked 300, 220, 350. I don't know where that just went. Um, but we're able to see all the information from here. December, maybe you can make more preparations for next year during those dates. Next one we have is another simple one, but it is going to be very helpful in this scenario. We just want to see the suppliers and their payment days. So in this special scenario, we have suppliers which we made payment due within 2 weeks to make sure everything is all set. In this query, we're looking at for suppliers that their payments have not been made within 2 weeks, and it's greater than 2 weeks. Um, so in this query, in this scenario, we're listing out their IDs, their names, the categories, the payment days, which you can see it's going to be 30, so it's well beyond the 14-day limit that we put out, and then their bank account code. This is important right here, just so we can reference to what accounts we need to take further action on. It's very easy. We may know the name of the supplier, but if we have the bank account name, it's going to take us further in just taking action for payment. But it's a very easy but simple thing, just because payment is a very important thing for the companies in the scenario. So it's a very useful tool. The next one we have is going to be using date diff. So it's a little bit more fun. But in this scenario, we want to find out the customer purchase orders, and we want to find out basically how customer and order quality is being outputted. So here we are using the customer purchase order number, which is just an ID that we want to reference to. We are looking at the order ID. We want to look at the last edited by, and then we want to use expected delivery date and picking completed when. So in this scenario, we want to focus right now on just expected delivery date. We are looking at when it should be delivered, and then picking completed when is the action of when the order is being listed as ready. So it was picked, it was packaged, and now it's about to be shipped. And we want to look at the day difference. Now, what this does is just minus the dates of expected to picking completed when. And we can see here if it's -1, 0, 1, and basically if it's -1, that means it's early, that means it's picked a day before the expected delivery date. If it is early, we then mark it as early as order status, and then if it's late, let's say 0, which is going to be accounted for as day of the expected delivery date. So of course it can't be delivered if it was just picked. And then we want to see if it's which customer purchase order numbers are being late, which orders are being listed as early, to see what is the quality of our delivery statuses. And then we're able to see who was last edited by. This information can be very useful just because we can see who we need to contact to, or who we need to talk to for about the order statuses. So just to see the quality of our orders. Here we're looking at scenario. We want to see the highest amount per subregion of our countries. So the countries that we are listed in our database that we are, let's say, delivering to. We want to see the latest recorded population to see which have the highest amount. So in this instance, Eastern Asia has the highest of 1,392,000. Um, this is an important thing and a good thing to have, just because let's say we have operations in all these countries, but if we want to see the recorded populations, and then we can see where we want to expand the operations and put more resources into it. Um, this is a nice way to see where we can put a feature of the said companies to make sure everything is going to be expanding. So it's a very insightful tool. Last one we have is going to be using um, the predicate or scenario, where we want to see all the customers and their net prices that they have spent on our units. So we want to see the specific unit price without tax, and then we just want to see the total amount. So unit price multiplied by the quantity, and then we just make the alias of net price spent. And then we're taking it, we're using a join here. We're taking it from invoices, putting it to order line, just to track the order IDs are the same. And then we're grouping it by the customer ID and order ID here. And then we order it by the net price to spend back here. So this way we're able to see each amount spent by customers. This is without text, just because we just don't want to include that in the scenario. Just see what they're actually buying. And then the net profits. So this is another way. Let's expand this, scroll this. This is one way where we can see our highest value customers, or at least, so to say, Tailspin's Hoist. This is our lowest customer here. And then we can see here specifically is what can we do to get that net price spent from this customer, have it a higher level or higher amount. So maybe we could reach out to them, we could put more resources into them, and as well we could just change it to descending if I wanted to see the highest one, and then again, just like the credit limit scenario, see which one is going to be the best one where we can put more resources into, and then see what's going to be our highest grossing customer. So a good way to see our finances, see the company's finances and scenario. We just want to see all the different amount of net prices. So that's my top 10 queries here. Thank you.